I get it. I dress like I just walked out of Warped Tour. I kickflipped my way in here today.
Can I just get a tonight will be the night that I will fall for you?
Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Live in the studio. I love it.
From Maine's cold coast to Connecticut pride, Vermont's green hills, take it all in stride. Massachusetts traffic, we grip and we grind with a Dunkin' iced coffee and no peace of mind. So New England stands up proud. Chowder thick, we shout it loud. From Fenway Chance to Rhode Island tide, New Hampshire's cry, live free or die. So New England with Ian Brownhill.
Good friggin' morning from New England, folks. Welcome back to episode 90 of the So New England podcast. I'm your host, Ian Brownhill, joined by my co-host, RJ Travisano. All things Life's Better in New England and So New England podcast producer, Vinny Chen's behind the lens, making all the magic happen as he always does. And today, we have a live report coming to you in studio. RJ, please tell us who today's guest is.
You really need to stop.
Do I steal your line every time by accident?
No more. Just, hey, this is Ian.
I have to
Welcome
transition
to the pod.
at some point.
You don't. You ruin it.
I'm sorry.
You're a bad friend. We are live, coming to you from the So New England podcast studio. And wait. Breaking news! Today's guest is the man, and not just any man, the best man on the street. Voted not once, but twice by Boston Magazine. If you've never heard of him, go ahead and crawl out from under that rock and join the over 100,000 and probably thousands more listeners who tune in daily to enjoy what this New Englander's all about. Out there putting feet to the pavement, hitting you with the hottest stories around, holding it down, representing Boston and WBZ NewsRadio from our big brother, state of Massachusetts. We welcome Mr. Matt Shearer.
Let's go.
Go, Matt.
Man.
Go, Matt.
You guys could both take my job.
No, we don't want to do
easy.
that.
You just got to tell you.
No.
Breaking news.
You're
You got
much hotter
this.
than me. I can't speak for you. But
I can't believe that. I didn't. That's like the second or
Literally,
third time now. I just on the fly. I'm like, what would work right here, and I let it flow.
It's terrible that you can't talk about it in advance. Like, man,
Yeah.
that would make life so much easier, but you can't
Hollywood
do it.
I know.
TikTok
Like, just
machine
have
over
no-
here is too busy to talk on the phone.
Matt, man, I'm so happy to get you in studio. This is so
Yeah.
great.
Likewise.
Been a huge fan of your content for a while. Love the
Same.
stories, everything you've been doing across
Thanks,
the
man.
beautiful state of Mass.
Of course.
So thank you. How was your
Thank
drive
you.
down to Little Rhodey?
It was fine until I crossed into Rhodey. I mean, I think it's like
Welcome to our
you
pothole.
cross the border and all of a sudden it's just like it's like Mad Max, but it's fun.
Yeah, no
It's-
blinkers.
it
They
keeps
don't
things
even come
interesting.
standard in our cars. You have to actually order those extra.
Yeah.
Special feature.
This is the thing. People love to talk about how like Boston drivers are so terrible and stuff, but that's just like people who haven't been to Rhode Island yet.
Exactly.
I found this account the other day on Instagram. I'm not going to say the guy's name because I don't think he deserves the attention. But his whole account is dedicated to snitching on people who drive fast in Rhode Island. Like he has cameras set up
what?
Ban that
360
guy.
all around his car, and he posts the pictures of the videos with like their screenshots. And I found it because he posted his handle. He had like those big letters stuck to the rear view window of his car with his handle on it. And I was like, I got to see what this guy's all about.
Yeah.
And I'm like, geez, I hope I wasn't speeding by this guy.
Oh my God. Boo that man.
Yeah,
How dare
boo.
you?
Straight to jail.
Let us
No
be
kidding.
terrible drivers on our own accord.
Exactly.
Honda Accord, pun intended.
You learn the hard way. Actually, this is a true story. I got so many speeding tickets that at my last job, I wasn't allowed to drive the radio station vehicle. So like they have all these branded vehicles that we're supposed to take to events. But one of the conditions on me getting hired when they ran my background check is they're like, you can't let him drive the station car.
That right there is, I think that's probably the first time we've opened up with a perfectly So New England segment. Quite
it.
like
There you
that
go.
right there is exactly what
true.
the podcast is all about.
That's
That is
honestly
So
my New England,
my friend.
credentials right there. Yeah, check my police report. That's what you'll see. A few crashes, a bunch of speeding tickets, a couple red lights I ran, but that's because I'm colorblind. So don't blame me too
Not
much
your
for
fault.
that. That's right. Red and yellow light look exactly the same when you're red, green, colorblind, and the green light looks white. So if I
kidding.
see, if I don't, so like, and the green light looks just like the street lights above, except for the ones where they recently switched to the LEDs that look like bluish, but like the old school Boston lights that you see above the street, Those look exactly like a green light to me. So they just blend in sometimes.
No kidding. And also, how are you supposed to look up at the lights while you're in the middle of like drinking a dunks?
Checking your Instagram.
Checking your
Yeah,
Instagram, hitting potholes, getting cut off by Rhode Islanders without blinkers.
How are you
Scratching a
supposed
ticket,
to?
you know?
That's it. Got a scratcher going.
Oh my goodness.
You can't look up at a light to see what's going on. That's
Rules and
crazy.
regulations.
No.
Ugh.
Oh, Matt, this is great. I feel like we're gonna have a lot of fun here. So, for anyone who's listening, let's get the backstory, brother. How did you? You're born and raised Massachusetts.
My origin story. Yeah. Shout out Acton, Massachusetts. It's
Shout
about
out Acton.
20 miles west of Boston. And I never left the same like 20-mile radius my whole life. Growing up, I was into like skateboarding and punk rock. That's like the kind of kid that I was.
Look. I didn't want to put you on the hot seat right away,
please.
but if I'm being honest, you look like the front man of like every emo band that I listen to. Like, you know,
I get it. I dress like I just walked out of Warped Tour. I kickflipped my way in here today.
Can I just get a "Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you"?
Tonight will be the night that I will fall for you.
Live in the studio. I love it.
But that was me, and like, so it was because of that I ended up doing what I'm doing, because I was hanging around at the lunch table at Acton Boxborough Regional High School one day with my skater friends, and we had there was a flyer on the wall for the little high school radio station we had, which broadcast to like the parking lot. And like nobody tuned in. But it was like an opportunity for us, and we're like, let's have a show about skateboarding, and we'll review skate spots around town and stuff like that. And we go in, and like I was the only one that took it seriously, right? Like we had other guys showing up on various substances, dudes just making fart noises into the mic and like purposely playing songs with all the swears in it just to see if we could get kicked off. And a bunch of them did get banned from the radio station. I did not. I showed up like prepared. I had my notes like you just did with your intro right there, and like little bits I wanted to do. And so there I was at 14 years old, like, this is what I want to do with my life. And granted, I think about this all the time because that was such a product of like the media landscape then, right? We didn't have smartphones. I'm sounding so old right now,
No,
but
I
I
love
think
it.
we're in the same age group
34.
here.
Looking 40.
I'm older. I'm 39.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we'll
so-
see.
Oh,
You look.
wow.
You look.
Yeah.
You look my age. I look your age.
No.
So this is like a fair exchange. I'm telling you, dude, the emo people, they don't age.
It's because you work out and I don't.
Yeah,
I need to
it's
gotta
my-
work on
my
that.
face
You
grunting
get
with
to
the
the
10 pound
gym,
yeah.
you look much more mature than me. I look like I came from the skate park, but it's fine. But again, we didn't have smartphones then. Like, social media was very much in its infancy. Like some kids at AB, Acton Boxborough, some kids at AB had MySpace, but it was like more the like emo kids, the same kids that had LiveJournal 5 years before that.
Yeah. Oh my God. LiveJournal. Holy smokes.
Yeah. And so, but like if I could have, and YouTube came out when I was in college, I remember, and I thought it was just like a thing like Photo Bucket where people would just dump their videos. And I did some of that. And there's probably some really cringe, embarrassing videos of like me and my friends in our dorm room that I just dumped there because I thought, oh, this is just will be the host thing and I'll embed this on my MySpace page and people will see it there. But nope, now YouTube is for everybody. You put it out there, you're broadcasting for the world.
Literally.
If all of that had existed when I was in high school, I probably would have ended up going down a very different path,
Absolutely. I think about this all the time as a millennial. I'm like, can you actually imagine? Think of all the emotional times that we would get upset when we had like a MySpace post.
Yeah.
Bro, if I got broken up with, my background changed from like the infamous background to just like a black page. Then I deleted my top 8 totally. My song changed to like Usher, Let It Burn. And I was like all sad. My profile picture would go away. I was so dramatic.
Oh yeah,
If
and
I had
remember
a
the
TikTok,
AOL Instant Messenger too,
Oh, yeah.
the away messages. You could
Yeah.
leave like if you had a message up there that was song lyrics that you only wanted one person to see.
Literally.
you put it out there for everyone, but those subtle.
thank God that all kind of like, we all joked about it, but thank God none of that was like actually permanent footprint.
yeah.
Could you imagine the things that, I mean, I think about just some of the
You'll see it one
Facebook
day.
wall posts that I've
Someone's
made
gonna
back in
find
the day.
something one day that they had from you.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not. Who
Yeah.
knows? I scour the internet myself to double check just to make sure.
So
It
what did you want to be when you grew up?
Yeah, not a TikToker, but an actor. So I'm still kind of
There you
like
go.
in that. I'm in that realm. Well,
You are.
Okay, well, the first goal was the NBA. Apparently, 5'8" doesn't make it. Whatever. And I can only barely play varsity basketball in Westerly High School. So
Sure.
not peak athleticism, but yeah, I mean, basketball was the passion in the sport that I wanted to play. And then after that, I was like, I just want to like entertain people, but I never really had a clear cut path. Like acting was something I was interested in, but I never pursued it per se until I was in my early 20s, and then I started.
And back then it was like you couldn't just do it on your own, right? You had to like go through the proper channels.
Right.
Whereas now, like I'm sure because of the success that you've been having on social media, people are reaching out about commercials.
It makes a
about
huge
all
difference.
This stuff.
Huge difference.
Yeah, totally. They like seeing people with followings, but also they like having, I mean, your feed is like your reel. You're not, I mean that in the old school sense of the terms, like your demo reel that you would send out to people. I mean, this is like DIY music has kind of been this way forever, right? Like anyone back in the day could just start a band, but you would have to go through the trouble of like burning CDs and like handing them out to people or like giving, hoping people would go check out your MySpace or something.
Right.
And like
talent shows, local bars, like trying to
exactly.
forever to get noticed. And now it's like instant.
You can just do it.
You can sing in a parking garage and literally be viral and famous overnight. There's a lot of people now who have careers because of that exact scenario because of TikTok. It's crazy.
Totally. And I gotta say too, like now I'm kind of, this is way fast forwarding in my life because I work for WBZ NewsRadio. I'm in the journalism world all of a sudden. That's where the radio industry had kind of taken me. And I don't really, I hadn't considered myself a journalist, especially not when I started this job. But I was now that like the social media stuff has taken off, I've been hit up by tons of media outlets to like go work for them and kind of do what I do there. But like, it's and then there's all these other who I think are way more talented journalists out there who are kind of struggling to get work just because they don't have social media followings.
Right.
It's like, it's kind of messed up, to be honest.
It is, but it's just like the way of the future in the world. And it's like, it's instant gratification. It's fast paced. It's moving. There's no loyalty anymore for branding. I mean, you think about brand deals for social media creators. I don't know how many you've done personally, but brand deals are not like a loyal thing. They like, if you're hot right now, they want to strike when the iron's hot.
I'm sure.
And then like, that's it. There's not like hey, we want to build a relationship with you long term. We want to do like video after video and proof of concept. And there's no design to it. It's like, hey, we saw your video go viral with 20 million. We'll pay you. Put this right after that one right away.
Make us go viral.
Make us go viral.
It's like an insurance company.
Right.
It's like,
literally.
It's like, I love my insurance. I had to do
How many law offices in Boston are doing stuff with content creators at this point? I mean, seriously, it's like a huge thing.
Oh my God. Yeah, because they have a ton of money to burn too. Like I feel like half of Instagram now is like injury lawyers and like stuff like there was something else too that I've been seeing forever that I'm blanking on. But yeah, and again, nothing wrong with that. Some of them, when they get it, it's great. You know, when the client understands, like, you got to let the talent be the talent, let them be entertaining and not give you like, here's a bunch of bullet points. I want you to read all these. This is what I want you to say about our company. Not try to micromanage the video that you're putting out.
Exactly.
Like say,
because then you're just an actor at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Hire me for acting services.
It be more,
It's a lot better that way. That way they don't have to, necessarily, but it's like, if you want my audience, you have to let me do my thing.
Yeah.
It's shitty, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
Because like when you look at, you explained this to me one day really well. Uncle Deej, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Not the best actor. But
highest paid actor in Hollywood though.
Exactly. And all he has to do is make a couple Facebook posts about being on tour.
Raise his eyebrow a little bit.
That's it. Yep. And boom, you have his what?
It cuts the movie budget by like 15 million in marketing by just giving it to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just give him, they give him like an additional 2 million posted on your social channels. They're going to get 10 times the audience in a matter of minutes. And then you do that for every actor.
I get asked to MC different events, as I'm sure you do from time to time. And like the ask is usually pretty simple, right? Like, hey, come host this event. But then there's always this implication like, oh, and we'd love for you to post about it too.
Right.
You know, and it's like, oh, okay, I could, but that makes it a little more messy in my mind.
Yeah, because they want you to try and entice people to come to whatever the event is and go from there. That's, again, like, I backtrack on my comment about not having long-standing relationships because I've been doing, like, I just emceed my first event for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Hell yeah,
and it was wonderful. And they don't ask anything of me. They're just like, hey, you're like a great ambassador for this so far. We really appreciate you being there. And I naturally post just because I think it's good for my brand.
Of course.
I like to get the word out there for an initiative like that. But at the end of the day, it's like,
Well, yeah, it totally. And like, I think it depends on the kinds of stuff you post too, right? Like if you're the kind of person who can like open up the phone, put on front facing, do like a real quick, hey, I'm at this thing. It's really awesome. That's great. And I think that's awesome. If I were to do that personally, I feel like that would be like super off brand for the type of storytelling I do. Cause what they want me to do is make like a long 3-minute epic documentary style, like about their thing, you know? And like that takes a ton of time. And so I think at times I kind of think maybe I need to set up a second account where I can just like be posting more freely. And I don't know. I think I'm sure you understand how it is. Like you look at your grid and you want it to be kind of consistent, right?
Yeah, of course.
You want it
you create an energy, a persona, your following expects. And not only that, but to harp again on the algorithm wants you to do what you always do. When you don't, the algorithm immediately takes it away from you.
Yeah.
And the ranking system changes so much. And it's like, it's just a nightmare. So
for sure.
But
anyways, sorry. No, real quick.
It's okay. In your dorm room, MySpace.
I can circle this all back here perfectly because I know I got way too into the weeds there.
No, I love it. That's how we rock here.
I listen to your podcast and like I hear you talking about the algorithm stuff with people and I'm like, man, I got thoughts on that. Yeah. But we'll get back to that soon. But like, it's funny because brand deal stuff is like very hard for me mentally to kind of like fully wrap my mind around, having grown up in that era of like punk rock and skateboarding in the like late 90s, early 2000s, because like back then the idea of doing anything for like a corporation was like selling out, you know, signing to a major label, any sort of like sponsorship, whatever. And now nobody cares. Right. You know, it's like, this is just the way the world works. Everyone understands that your favorite creator is doing what they're doing because of the brand deals and because of the sponsorships, and they accept it. And like the very first like hashtag ad I ever posted, I was so worried people were going to like be pissed at me because I had that old punk rock mentality. Yeah. But everyone in the DMs was like, get that bag.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Do what you gotta do,
brother.
Yeah.
And it's a very unique, delicate situation because the trouble that you have with a lot of these platforms is most of them have some sort of system or structure in place where people can monetize and make money, but not all of them. And not everyone qualifies. Right. And they give it and they take it away. And sometimes it's X amount of dollars that's livable wages. And then it's absolutely nothing. It's peanuts. So brand deals is a way for creators to continue to create content. Yep. The difficulty that I found is for a while when I first started out, it was about making content because you wanted to just entertain and it was really cool. But now everyone wants it because they want to get paid. Yes. But the apps are not, if people don't get paid, these apps will fall apart.
Right. That's true.
Because people can't survive without the money, and it is a tiresome process to create the content. Yeah. I know it's not a construction job. It's not the medical field. It is significantly overcompensated for the amount of effort and work that truly goes into it. However, it is a lot of work. Yeah. And if you do it all the time, you can totally understand that from a creator perspective. But the danger of that is if people stop, if I don't make money off this, I would stop creating. Right. I've been doing it for 6 years. I've got almost all of my creative ideas out there. A lot of what I'm doing now is just because I think of a funny idea. So I make the video. But it used to be I had all these ideas in my head, but I've worked them all out. I've done them all. I've flipped them inside out. I've tried them twice. Right. And people have copied me. There's a million people making the same content as me now.
Yes, taking the same jokes. Like, I'll see a video, I'll see a reel, and I'll be like, that was Ian's joke. That was his video.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah,
but you know, I was like the one person doing it for a while, but I love it. I spread I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm telling jokes about New England. The jokes I say are the same jokes that your father and your grandfather have been saying about New England for years. So it's not like I'm an OG original. And I always give credit where it's due to Nick Fitzy Stevens. He is the GOAT, the OG of New England content. But anywhoozers, that was a long, harping way to just say that. That is a danger of this position now for the brands and for the creators, where it's like, a lot of these careers would fall off if we all stopped making money because it's just not sustainable. And I'm sure we're all burnt out.
But you're so right about some of those people, their motivation is the money. I thought about this in the early days of Instagram when you started to see the rise of the food influencers, where some of them were very clearly just in it for a free meal. Right. You know, and you could tell the ones who were actually trying to entertain and inform. But then there were others who it's very easy to just pop into a restaurant, point your camera with the flash on at your meal and post it, and then try to build a following that way, and then go tell a restaurant, hey, I can post about you if you have me in. Yeah. And so I got pissed. And actually, in those early days of Instagram, I started a chocolate chip cookie review account. And my whole shtick, my whole thing was like, I'm going to find the best chocolate chip cookie in Massachusetts. And it was this big, long quest. And like, I tried hundreds and hundreds of cookies. I got crazy cavities, no joke. Like I ended up going to the dentist and like they're like, yeah, you have 12 cavities. Like we gotta get this taken care of. And so
now your page is about tooth care.
Yeah, or oral hygiene. Exactly. That's my brand now. No, but I was like, this is my reaction to everyone posting about their food, but not telling you whether or not it's actually good. Yes. Because you started seeing a lot of restaurants like making these big, crazy, cool looking concoctions, but like, did they actually taste good? I would go try some of them and I'd be like, this isn't that good. It's just like literally a giant cup of sugar,
right?
You know? And so I was like, I'm going to try these chocolate chip cookies and I'm going to actually tell you if it's good or not, you know? And like, I know that me saying this now sounds like, oh my gosh, yeah, brilliant. You actually do food reviews. Wow. Like that's real. But I don't know. At the time, I felt like it was not as many people were doing that. And also I abandoned the account once the pandemic started because suddenly it felt wrong to be trashing these small businesses' cookies like when they're all struggling.
These guys suck.
Yeah. Well, I would always make a point to be like, listen, the place is good. The cookie is terrible. You know? Chocolate chip cookies can be an afterthought. By the way, chocolate chip cookies invented in Massachusetts, in case you didn't know this.
Are we really just the best at everything? We invented chocolate
chip cookies, basketball.
Throw it in a bag.
Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? Teddy's peanut butter. We got peanut butter fluffs.
LL Bean.
We got everything.
LL Bean. Yeah, that's Maine, right?
Yeah.
Or Vermont. What is it?
New England, right?
New England.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
We're
He
expanding.
was saying
We're expanding. I was
Massachusetts
stuck
specific.
in Massachusetts because that's all I know. I've never left Massachusetts. This is the farthest I've left out of Massachusetts right now. Is Providence. But I used to come to Providence sometimes actually for first of all, I go to Pawtucket for the Red Sox back in the day.
Oh, the Paw Sox game?
I genuinely, my heart was broken when Massachusetts got the Paw Sox.
Yeah.
Even though like it's closer to me physically, I just felt, I don't know. I had such fond memories of McCoy Stadium.
Yeah.
Going
It
with
was
my
great.
grandpa. He got like season tickets or something back in the day. It was fun.
Those games are more fun anyways. They do a lot more with you. Like from a fan standpoint.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
In
lot more
between innings, in
interactive
between
and-
stuff like that. Yeah, interactive was the word.
Yeah, you don't have to wait in line to get on the tee at Kenmore afterwards.
I feel like at this point, most of the nostalgic things that we grew up with are all gone, except for, drum roll, my favorite state, and this is why I love them, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire's your favorite
the,
state?
Love it. And they still got all the nostalgia, man. They still got all of their, you can go to Santa's Village, you can go to Clark's Trading Post, and it's still the same train, the same entertainment. It's the best.
Have you been to, what is it, Fun World? Is that the name of the arcade? It's
Oh my God, yeah.
One of the best,
Place is massive.
Laconia, I think.
Yeah, it's right
is
over
where
by
it is.
Laconia.
They have not changed the carpeting in 25 years. Or
I love
25.
that
That's
smell.
generous. It's been more like 50. Sorry. I'm older than I think. Yeah, they haven't changed that. Yeah, the smell. Actually, if you go back, there's an amazing documentary called King of Kong, Fistful of Quarters, and it's about these two dudes battling it out to get the high score in Donkey Kong. Sounds horrendously boring. It is fascinating and incredible. It was all shot at Fun World, and you watch it, and it was like, this is a documentary that came out in like the 90s. It looks exactly the same. And so do the people. They dress the same.
And that's why I love New Hampshire, because sometimes I just want that nostalgic feeling.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
great.
So
That's great.
To continue the story on
Yes,
college.
here we go.
And then you move forward. What happens
I
after
went to
college?
Emerson College, shout out downtown Boston. That was fun. A lot of people like to go to schools that have campuses, and like party schools and stuff. I liked living straight up downtown amongst,
The Bostonians.
the chaos. Yeah. The unhoused, the rich people up on Beacon Hill. It was just like everyone. It was, and that was so fun for me. I'd like be up super late at night and just go out walking and like all by myself. I felt like I owned the city, everything shuts down, and that was fun. So I went to Emerson College. Yeah. And then I ended up working at a talk radio station for a while, like, political talk, like controversial, like, oh, you're dumb. No, you're dumb kind of talk radio. And that was not what I wanted to do with my life, but it was just the first opportunity that was there.
Yeah,
for me.
foot in the
It was
door.
a salary. I
Exactly.
took it.
Oh, that's got to be tough though.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
well, I
especially-
mean, I guess maybe a little bit because that was a little bit longer ago than now.
Yeah, it wasn't
And
nearly
it progressively
as bad.
gets worse every year.
It felt really bad.
yeah.
We felt like at the time we were like, man, this is the most divided the country's ever been.
The famous last words.
It can't possibly get more divisive than this.
Yeah.
And then here we are. But yeah, so it was
See
rough.
you in 2026.
Because the thing was, I was like a producer, and so part of my job was like screening the phone calls, answering the phone, and like, you know, I would like write down the people's name, what they were calling about, and like it would be up on a screen for the host to read, and then they would pick who they wanted to take on the air. And they could also see how long someone was waiting on hold. People would wait up to like 45 minutes, an hour, over an hour, just to like yell at someone on the radio about something.
God.
And like, yeah, it's like, and I always would have to remind myself when people would call up and say really mean things about like me or something, that waiting on hold for an hour to get on air at a radio station is not a normal thing.
Right.
And, you know, if somebody's calling up like really that mad about something, they're probably, I don't know, that's not most people. I need to, you know.
You're in the top percentage of individuals who would spend their day doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it was, you would like see the same names come up all the time.
That's gotta be bad if you're recognizing those names.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
somebody find this person,
And it wasn't even-
give him a damn hug.
And it wasn't, we wouldn't even get like a full name either. It was like Mike from Grafton. And be like, oh, friggin' Mike from Grafton.
no,
again.
Mike from
This guy sucks. Don't take Mike from Grafton. And but then we had the ones we loved, like, oh, it's Paul from Quincy. Got to take Paul from Quincy. And they become like regulars on the show. And I would fill in from time to time. So it was like I was producing, but I was also kind of on the air. And actually, I remember a few times I would fill in for weeks when the main hosts were off. I would go into their booth, and my co-host would be this really funny, talented woman who was really big in the into the whole self-help thing. And so she would approach the stories. They were political stories, but from like a self-help angle. Years later, things kind of went really well for her. Now she's got about 20 million YouTube subscribers. Mel Robbins.
I was
going
gonna
to
say Mel Robbins. I know exactly who it is.
She was my co-host on the weeks that we would
No
fill
kidding.
in. Yeah. I haven't talked to her in years, not since she's blown up. But she did randomly text me out of the blue in my last job to be like, oh my God, my daughter listens to your radio station. We should catch up sometime. That was about 20 million followers ago. So I don't think the invitation
Cell phone
to
number is
catch
the
up
same.
is,
Yeah. Hey, you never
is
know.
still standing.
I mean, she's pretty active on socials, or at least
Yeah.
her team is. I'm sure you've come up on her For You page.
You had to.
text her sometime and
Yeah.
just be like,
She has a
I
house
don't know
in-
if this
in
is still
Wesley.
your...
Sorry, I thought I hit send. This has been sitting here this whole time.
I know. By the way, yeah.
By the way.
About that coffee.
This was sitting on send when it was a flip phone. I just forgot to hit send.
Yeah. Oops. So
so
no,
funny.
that's a fun little claim.
That's
to fame.
great.
And
Big,
that's
big fan
really
of Mel,
cool.
so that's awesome.
Yeah, that's
very
sick.
cool story.
You got to get her on this podcast. She's
Yeah,
a New Englander.
I know.
She's
I
on
would
next.
love to, but
Yeah.
I can't.
Surprise!
That's like the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
you know, manifesting that. I'm going to
Yeah.
count to 5, Mel, and then you'll appear, hopefully.
I'll give you what I think was her number.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That's
We'll
so
see
cool.
how it goes. But no, yeah. So that was it. Even though it wasn't my ideal job, like it gave me, I learned a lot. You know, I got to go to both the DNC and the RNC in 2012 and see like everyone who was anyone, like the most powerful people in the world, like in speaking in front of me and like booking interviews and stuff. So it was like crazy weird experience. And then I went from that to a top 40 station. So
no
like
kidding.
wacky morning drive comedy style radio. Let's talk about Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber again. And
gosh.
so I did that. And that was cool too. Got to meet like a ton of like those celebrities from the time and like, but that was where I really started to kind of build what I think would become like my brand, like the guy out on the street, like doing kind of the offbeat, meeting these offbeat characters. Cause like, that's what I did. I went out and I interviewed people and we played them on the radio. And that job ended in the pandemic after 7 years. And I was jobless at home and I got a call from WBZ. They needed a reporter. I'd never been a reporter before. All I knew about that was what I saw on TV, very buttoned up, very handsome, you know, nice hair and everything like that. And I'm, again,
You got half of it.
Avril Lavigne wrote a song about me. So I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But they convinced me that they wanted somebody who could just kind of like have a different approach. They had enough journalists in the newsroom who were doing the traditional style of storytelling. They wanted someone to kind of take it into the 21st century. And at the time, I didn't know that they were thinking social media when they said that.
Yeah.
Because the job was at first just on air stuff. And then my boss was like, hey, by the way, we registered WBZ NewsRadio on TikTok. I'm like, great, have fun with that. He's like, no, you're the guy. Because like at the time, I was the young guy in the newsroom.
Right.
I was like the thing, even though I was already in my 30s. Now I'm the old guy in the newsroom. We've since gone and hired like a bunch of really talented, awesome 20-somethings. But like they were like, we got to have the guy who probably understands TikTok, even though I didn't have my own personal account. We got to have him do stuff. And like at first, it was just like the most boring, like not interesting to look at videos ever, because I was just taking my radio pieces and slapping B-roll on top of it.
Right.
But the algorithm did its thing, and like you could start to see a little bit of traction here and there. You know, what went from like a couple hundred views turned into like a couple thousand views, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I should try like, shooting the video this way, or maybe I should try getting in front of the camera and like doing all this stuff, to the point where now, instead of taking my radio pieces and making them social media later, I'm taking my social media pieces and making them radio later, because we've seen so much potential for growth on social media. Radio doesn't have an algorithm or a For You page. There's no way to put your stuff in front of people who don't already know about you, other than getting like billboards or something, right? Or like ads in a newspaper or something. So the potential to reach so many people on social media is exciting to me.
Yeah.
And like now it's the priority, and it's what I do mainly. And yeah, I've had a lot of luck with it, which is great.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. I don't know what the first video ever came up for me with your page. God, it felt
probably
like it was
when
ago.
Duncan and Stowe closed and the whole town lost their minds.
Oh,
that was like the first.
That was a pretty big one.
That one definitely put, or when the Market Basket closed in Billerica, that was a big one too, because I don't know if you know this, but Billerica previously had 3 Market Baskets on the same road. And it was all Boston Road, and they were all within like a 10-minute drive of one another. It wasn't like they were like super far apart. One of those Market Baskets closed, the one right in the middle, and the whole town lost their goddamn minds.
Dude, New England doesn't like change, man. We're all for change.
I was like interviewing people outside, and they were like, I cried. I felt like I'm losing a part of my family, very completely unironically too.
Yeah.
Which is the best part.
That's insane.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about Market Basket too, though, is they still have like, that stronghold of like, no self-checkouts. They still employ people. They still have that old school uniform. They have a little
prices.
The prices are great. They literally have everything. They've got a great prepared food. They've got, the cafes. They've got everything going there. And that is not only is that a great for a grocery store, but it's like the old school way with that very New England footprint. So it's like, whoever was in the 5 or 10 mile radius of that one probably felt it the most.
The guy in my video literally said, he's like, I don't like change. I tell my kids the dinosaurs didn't go extinct by accident. They saw the future and said, screw this, let's go to the top hit. And like, mind you, he's talking about a grocery store closing, one of 3 on the same road in the same town. So yeah, he's a legend. But
that's so New England. I love it.
Tewksbury has 2 Market Baskets on the same road, and they still have 2 Papagenos on the same road too.
Really?
That's a real rare Pokemon.
I do love Papagenos.
Me
but
too.
Two on the same road is kind of crazy, because just finding one out in the wild is pretty crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
I think we only have like 1 or 2 in the whole state.
I only know of the one.
Yeah, the one in Warwick.
There was like, what was that episode of Game of Thrones where everyone died? There was like that one day where like I
didn't watch Game of Thrones, so these guys who knows that one.
Yeah.
The Red Wedding.
Red Wedding. Thank you.
Vin knew right away.
Yeah. There was like a Red Wedding day for Papagenos. I remember when like they went bankrupt or something, and like all like, I don't know, 90% of them closed. And we had 3 in Framingham, and 2 of them are gone. The only one left is the one at the rest stop on the Mass Pike. Not the same.
Yeah.
You want to go and you got to see the mural on the wall.
Yeah.
Make you feel like you're in Sicily. We need that.
You need the elevated like eating area, at least in Rhode Island. That's how all of ours are set up. It's the elevated eating area, and then the whole ordering spot is a little bit lower.
The old jukebox that never worked, but the kids could push the buttons and see it flip.
I bet you there's one in New Hampshire. New Hampshire doesn't change.
I was going to say, that sounds definitely in the 603. You can find one for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still, but none of the songs worked. You can flip it back and forth though.
What I find so funny about Papagenos closing though is that I don't know how it is around here, but in Massachusetts, so many of them have become dispensaries because the timing of weed becoming legal in Massachusetts and Papa Gino's closing was so convenient. And it's also perfect because that was where people bought their weed anyways. Now they don't have to change their route.
But they should have just stayed in business together. You get high and you get your pizza, dude. It's like we already had the formula figured out.
Don't get rid of the pizza.
Like, all the money is outside in the parking lot getting sold by pot. Bring them in.
Also, D'Angelo's is still here for some reason.
Yeah.
Hey.
Whoa. You're looking at a seasoned vet of D'Angelo's right there.
Oh, I love D'Angelo's.
So good.
Yeah, very underrated.
Caesar dressing is like crack. I don't know what they put in it, but
Probably crack.
it might be.
Yeah. But this is what I love about Massachusetts is listen to how much we just love our weird regional chains.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as chains go, Papa Gino's is top tier.
Yeah, absolutely. God, I'm trying to think of all the ones that have been like Bickford, then you got 99
Bickford's,
restaurant.
yeah, 99's still kicking.
99 still kicking.
They're still rocking. Bill Ricca had 2 of those too. People
Bill
are
Ricca,
living good.
They took everything in 2s in Bill Ricca.
Low key, Bill Ricca is like, yeah.
No wonder why they don't want change. They're like, oh, here it comes. We're going to be down to 1 of everything. What the hell are we going to do then?
You're next over there. They might be down to $1.99 at this point. I don't know. But yeah, 99's still good, still rocking. We got them in Framingham too. That's where I live now is Framingham, Massachusetts.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I spent like 10, 12 years in the city of Boston, and then we wanted to buy a house and we didn't have $5 million. So we we ventured out west like everyone else. Or they either go north, south, or west. The funny thing about North Shore, South Shore, Massachusetts, I don't know how many people you know from North Shore, South Shore, Massachusetts. They don't ever want to leave the shore.
No.
Like Framingham, which is 15 miles west of Boston, they consider that Western Mass. Which is crazy.
Wait till they hear about Springfield or the Berkshires. They're like, oh, in New York.
There are people in the Berkshires who think Springfield is Central Mass, which is crazy to me. So I got to ask you guys, where do you think Western Mass begins?
I mean, I would probably say after Springfield.
Yeah.
You have to cross the Springfield.
Anytime
West of Springfield is Western. Because I look at Springfield kind of like that middle, like Worcester, Springfield, right in the middle there is where I would consider Central Mass.
So, sorry, what about you?
No, I agree because I went to school out there, so I don't know too many like geographically wise. Right. But yeah, I would say Western Mass.
Yeah, you were in Dudley, which was like right in between the two, right?
East Kapipi. Yeah, it's on the boondocks.
I always say it's the Quabbin Reservoir. Like, if you don't know what that is, you can look at a map. You see this big body of water in the middle of Massachusetts. West of that, you'll find Springfield. Not too far west. Yeah. But I like the Quabbin because it ensures that Worcester is not Western Mass. Yeah. People, that's like the dividing line for a lot of Bostonians. Yeah. They're like, past Worcester is Western Mass. And I'm like, what about Central? They're like, there is no Central Mass. You're either west or you're east. I'm like, no. Don't tell that to people from Worcester.
Some people don't even know that Massachusetts isn't only Boston.
Yeah, I know.
They're like, I'm from Framingham. Where the hell is Framingham? Yeah. What's that, New York?
I know.
Chicago?
What's the North Shore?
But people from Massachusetts don't say they're from Massachusetts unless they're talking to someone else from Massachusetts.
Literally. Facts.
Yep.
We talk about that all the time because you have to be generally very vague. Like if you're out not in New England,
right?
I'm from Boston.
Yeah.
No matter where you're from. You could be just the northern part of Maine,
right?
And you're from Boston.
Yes.
And then
Boston
as you
Stadium.
Yeah, Boston Stadium.
Yeah,
and as you closer to Providence,
right?
Closer to Boston.
Literally, they're calling it's like the furthest point you can probably go from Boston.
Yeah,
like once you finally pass Mansfield, that is just when it's no longer trafficky.
I think,
and I'm like, this is like the worst part. Like, you should have been here.
Shout out, I think it was David Wade from WBZ TV had a great reel where he was asking people at Boston Stadium, what town are you in right now? And everyone in their Scottish accents were like, Boston. I'm in Boston, you know?
Nope. In Boston.
In Foxborough.
Yep,
I know. Classic. I can't really do the Scottish accent too well, which is bad because I'm Scottish heritage, one of those guys. But I mean, that's the other funny thing is all the Scottish people in town this past week.
It's been amazing.
Wild.
Dude, it was great. And I witnessed it firsthand because I was doing like interviews with them and stuff. People coming up to them and being like, I'm Scottish. And they just
hate it.
Roll their eyes.
Yeah.
That must be what it feels like to be from Boston and hear someone from Framingham say I'm from Boston. Yeah. That must be what it feels like. Yeah.
My only opinion on the whole Scottish Boston thing, and hear me out.
Yeah.
All the influencers, everyone making videos, I love it. I think it's great.
Right.
But the one storyline that everyone keeps harping on is like, man, don't leave because where's the fun? The fun's going to be gone. Blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
they did nothing different than we could do every day, but New Englanders are just assholes. If we would just stop being mean to each other, we could be just as fun. The only thing
That's
they
true.
did was drink more beer and be nicer to everyone.
Yep.
That's all it was.
And put a few cones on statues.
Well, yeah. I mean,
which is going to happen going forward now.
absolutely.
I think
And
that's,
everyone that's not Scottish will be in trouble for it. But because it was, FIFA, they're like, all right, we'll allow it because it's bringing billions of dollars of revenue. But
Yeah.
that was just my opinion. It's like everyone's like, oh, it's Boston's never been so alive. I'm like, the city is this cool and there is this much to do. There is that much fun. If we just stopped being like, like this,
Right.
walking on the sidewalk, we could have a little bit of fun. But
right.
Bunch of sticks in the mud.
yeah, that's my
We got
only
our
opinion.
pride, you know?
Yeah.
and like-
Obviously, the the Scottish are a very, very fun group. That's not to say that they didn't bring a
Yeah.
ton of fucking energy.
Totally.
But it's just like the city's never. It's the city this or the state or whatever. It's like, well, maybe if we weren't so bah humbug all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a guy whose entire character is about being bah humbug.
I know. But you know what? I think a big part of it too was the fan fest happening at Government Center.
Right.
That kind of put all the fans like in one place in Boston. So like people were spreading out, going to all the Faneuil Hall restaurants and like the Freedom Trail and like anywhere downtown where you saw people walking around in kilts and they were there for a good time.
Right.
It's like, I don't know, maybe we just need to do more of that, more like fun city events. We got Boston Calling, a music festival, but it's like $500.
That's not. It's like canceled this year too, right? They're not
Yeah.
even doing it this year
Exactly.
because of the World Cup. So.
Right. We need more just like fun, free things to get the people together. I don't know. Maybe next time there's a big Celtics game or something, put a big projector out on the
Give a reason for people to
know?
come together and have fun and celebrate like being in such a cool city.
Find a way.
Yeah, for sure.
Celebrating making it out of 10 feet of snow. That's something we should have celebrated together.
Yeah.
Been
We
like,
survived.
We did it. We did
We
it.
celebrated the cop slide happening.
All right.
Yeah, for like a week or two after the cop slide incident, kids could not go on that slide.
Right.
It was all just a big line of adults.
Yeah.
And that brought the city together, whether, it doesn't matter, old, young, Republican, Democrat, whoever you were, you laughed at that video of the cop getting shot out of the slide.
Crazy.
The
And now
only
it's a
person who
landmark.
didn't laugh was the cop.
Yeah. I laughed at the Scottish guy, his bare cheeks just squeaking the whole way down. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a slide you're going to want draws on for, buddy. A hot metal slide in the middle of Boston.
Now a bunch of kids have to go down on that bare ass slide.
Not sanitized regularly, by the
Right.
way. Just FYI.
No, definitely not. I've been down that slide a few times. Have you guys?
No, I've never been.
No.
Never
Okay.
been.
Nope.
It's worth a shot. And I got to say, don't wear jeans because jeans don't give you that glide. Like the cop was wearing those like slick, I don't know, is it polyester, like cop slacks?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
The slicker, the better.
Hey, so New England listeners, we're going to take a brief break to let you know about something amazing going on right here in the local Providence, Rhode Island community. The Family Fun Fest is back and better than ever. Attorney Rob Levine, your heavy hitter, I know you know who he is. He's going to be giving away over 1,000, that's right, 1,000 free backpacks packed with school supplies to kids and families who need them most. So come join us August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the India Point Park, and please bring your family because it's going to be a great time, and even better, it's free. Come enjoy live music, food trucks, a petting zoo, and more. So don't miss Rob Levine's Family Fun Fest event where your heavy hitter steps up to bat for the community. So you got into the social media thing because WBZ kind of created this whole nook for you, but how have you kind of taken that and made it taken it for a run?
Yeah, well, I mean, my whole
Like
thing.
how you source stories, how do people
sure.
reach out to you and
yeah.
the connections that you got? I'm sure you got fun stories. So
Yeah, it's all over the place, man. It's like the great thing is in the beginning, I was getting ideas from the newsroom mostly. They'd give me like assignments, but then like I would pitch ideas and they'd say, "Oh, that actually sounds good." And it was the ideas that I was pitching that I was the most passionate about that always did the best. And I'm sure you feel this way too.
Exactly.
It's like when you care about something, when you are excited about something, sometimes it flops. Sometimes, you're like, "This is the best video I've ever done," and it goes nowhere, and that's
damn it.
so demoralizing.
literally
But
the worst feeling.
the majority of the time, if you care about something, if your heart is in it, other people will care about it too.
Absolutely.
And so when I care about something, but yeah, I get DMs all the time. People hitting me up. Hey, go check this place out. Go check that place out. I also do this series where I just show up in random small towns in Massachusetts with zero prepared, no interviews booked, nothing planned, and just see where the day takes me, and just
That's really
like,
cool.
yeah. And it's so fun because it's so unpredictable. And to me, I was thinking about the kinds of stuff I wanted to post, I was like, I just don't want to do what everyone else is doing. You know, we talked earlier about how frustrating it is when other people like steal your jokes or your sticks or whatever. It's like, I just want to like stand out. I'd rather stand out than blend in, you know, sometimes to a fault, because then, you know, when you do that, you become like maybe too niche or whatever, you know, you're breaking the rules a little bit, but it's like, I don't know. I just want to tell stories my way, and it's been fun. And
that's so cool.
Yeah.
And have you really found that with that niche and with the exploration of all these things that you've created this like newfound interest in what you're doing? Because it's not necessarily just radio, and it's not, you know what I mean? Like,
for
moving forward, you're kind of an influencer now. Like that's kind of what you are in its own capacity, right?
In a way, yeah. I mean, totally. It's opened up a ton of doors that weren't open for me before. You know, I was just like one industry for my whole career, and now all of a sudden, like, there's all these other options, and it's like, I don't really know. I get asked sometimes, like, what do you want to do with your life? What's the future? I genuinely don't know.
Isn't that exciting though?
Yeah,
it kind of makes it like, it is
right?
like it's scary, and that, like a lot of people can't live in that, but I'm like, that makes it exciting, because
totally,
it's like, you know, you're going to die, but you don't really want to know. So it's like the same thing with like, if you can live your life not knowing, why not do that with everything? It makes it purposeful and like, oh, this is fun.
It's like watching a great video. When you don't know what happens next, it's more exciting.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with your life. When you don't know what's coming next, it's exciting, it's fun. And I'm having fun doing what I'm doing. Like I'm lucky to work for a radio station that gives me like the creative freedom to kind of do my thing, you know? So you wouldn't get that, I feel like, at other newsrooms.
Yeah.
So shout out WBZ NewsRadio. My bosses, Bill and Jay.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
You're a trailblazer, man. And there's a lot of news outlets and stations that are trying to replicate what you've done.
Oh, for sure.
You're the first of its kind, especially, you know, especially in this area. I can't speak for the rest of the country, but I'm sure.
No, definitely.
I mean, like overall, it's
absolutely. Like, I want to. Gosh, I don't mean to sound like I'm just sitting.
No,
here,
patting
myself on the back.
That's what this is for, baby.
No, I know. Yeah, but I did win a national award for excellence in innovation. It's the Edward R. Murrow Awards, which is like a huge deal in journalism because of what you said. We were kind of like the first to figure out how to make news vertical. You know, and you're right. Since then, other brands have totally taken the concepts and like run with it and done their own versions. And some are doing it great. A lot of them are even doing it better than I'm doing it. And I think that's awesome. I think it's really cool to be kind of on, I guess, the cutting edge of something, you know, and have a little bit of claim to fame there.
Absolutely.
But also, I mean, it kind of gets me thinking like, well, now I got to stay like a step ahead of everyone else, right? Of course,
yeah. Well, like, that's a creative conundrum that you get stuck in when you're like, oh, what do I do next? What's the, you know?
Totally. And then people get like expectations of you and you put all that weight on yourself.
God, I went to Florida just this weekend alone, and I was like, I got to post. Like, what do I do? People are going to forget about me if I don't post. Yeah. And I wasn't in Boston with the Scots, so what am I going to do?
Totally.
Besides like post something that's clearly very jealous that I'm out there with the Scots making content.
I know.
So I was like, I'm just not going to post anything. I've been better about like learning how to do that, but you know, I posted a video today and I'm just like, I feel like this is shit. This is stupid. It'll probably do well because of that.
Yeah, I know, because it was the lowest effort.
The lowest effort always does the freaking best, but
I know,
you know, it's definitely a difficult space to live in, but
but it's like music too. I mean, think about some of your favorite bands, right? The ones who've put out the most albums don't necessarily have the best discographies, right? The bands who like are a little bit more like conscious of what they're putting out, take their time, craft something great, have like perfect discographies. Right. And the problem with that in the social media world, of course, is like you said, you lose consistency. And I'm kind of in that boat where like I definitely don't post consistently enough. I need to, but I'm way too picky, and like I make these videos way too long, and it's fine. It's working for me. Like, you know, the engagement and all is like consistent, but it's like, I don't know. I'm like too stuck in my ways to like break that cycle.
Yeah,
and
it's
I need
hard.
to. That's something I need to work on going forward.
But you know, in the same boat with like the music stuff with the social medias, and I saw this, and maybe I could be misquoting it, but I was seeing that Noah Khan made a statement on like Twitter or something where fans were upset that he played a lot of his old songs and not his new songs.
Weird.
Because he had like just dropped a new album and it was his new tour, and they're like, oh, we were hoping for like more of the music from the new thing. He was like, guys, like, I'm sorry, like this is what it is. And I'm broadly stating, so I probably missed some of the facts in there. Yeah. But the moral of that is that's the danger of the music industry now with this. Yeah. These people blow up with one song, and then they go, and how many times can they sing that like one song? And now back in the day, it was okay because those artists would go to MTV and sing that one song. Yeah. Now these artists are going on tour And
Yeah.
everyone's like, oh, I've never heard the other 19 songs. I actually don't know if I like you that much.
Totally.
Or if you go there and then the people are like, oh, sing the one song. I need the one song. And it's like, it's created a very different world
And
for the
this-
entertainments.
Yeah, and the same thing happens on social media. Somebody has one hit,
Right.
and it's like, now you have a choice.
Right.
Do you do that one thing over and over and over again
Right.
and like beat the dead horse until people are sick of you and unfollow? Or do you branch out? Do you find a way to like explore a little bit? Keep doing that thing, but also like trying other stuff too.
Right.
And it's hard. It's funny to see that happen. It's funny to see someone have like a big viral moment and like, okay, what are you going to do next?
Yeah.
You know, have that thing. There are a lot of people who have that one viral moment and think like, awesome, I'm a social media consultant now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I
Quite
know
literally.
the secrets. I'll tell you
Exactly.
the tricks. This
Those
is
are my
what works.
Yeah, if you ever see a video where they're like, this is what you should do, I urge you to swipe, please. Those
Yeah.
people don't know what they're talking about because there's nothing to know. But that's why I try to diversify my portfolio
You
here,
do.
like doing the podcast stuff. But I'm sure I lost a lot of people that were following me that only wanted like, oh, just do the funny thing. Just do the guy. And then when they realize that I have opinions and I have a personality and I'm a human being, they're like, because people love to just pretend that we're all like this perfect thing that only do what I want you. Be my doll,
Right.
my entertainment, you know?
But can I tell you something, Ian? And I'm not just glazing you here. Like when you started like posting more about just like yourself and especially like the mental health journey, that made me like you so much more.
Oh,
because
thank you. I appreciate
genuinely
that.
like, yeah, I already liked your videos, but that like solidified like, yes, I'm not just a follower, I'm a fan. Because like you're a real person,
I
you
tried
know,
to
you're a
be.
human being. In radio, we call this sort of stuff character development.
Right.
You know, it's like you have to do that. Like on morning shows, like where your life is your content, you know? And that gets stressful. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important for people to open up. Maybe like you have to time it out a little bit, right? You know,
Yeah.
give people what they want for long enough, hook people in, and then say, okay, by the way, I'm a real guy.
Yeah.
You know, I got a life.
Well, yeah, I mean, even with well, first and foremost, thank you for saying that. I really
course.
appreciate it. And it took me a while to get to that place. So it's always good to get positive feedback of people that appreciated it. Cause I told myself from the beginning, I never wanted to share anything personal. I'm going to create characters and characters only. It's a business and that's all it'll ever be.
Yeah.
But then I realized there's a lot of human connection that was happening between me and the people who chose to support and follow me. And I was like, maybe I do need to be open. And I was like, I do have a platform. I don't make public statements about anything. Maybe this is something that I can appease that desire to be a little bit more open with. And it's gone well. So
And it genuinely, I gotta say, like, it hit for me, especially too, because like I was in a place where I was feeling anxiety and depression for the first time because of social media. I know that sounds like so,
that
you know,
that is why a lot of people have it.
yeah,
is
a
this
lot of
freaking
people
phone.
totally. I mean, a lot of people say like, oh, I've been struggling with this my whole life. And like, I'm privileged enough to say like, that wasn't really the case for me. I was, you know, I was not a very anxious or depressed kid. I listened to a lot of ska. So I was all like, yo, girls made me sad. Why don't I just dance about it?
Yeah.
You know, but like now, it's like, I don't know, I get this pressure that I put on myself and anxiety, and like one person leaves most comments I don't care about, but one person leaves a comment that does cut deep and it ruins my whole weekend.
Yep.
You know? And so to hear that like someone at such a level of yourself was going through that too and felt that
Oh God, yeah.
was really good to hear.
I feel
So,
it deeply. These guys all know me on a very personal level, and they know that this is like the character is almost like 90% not me. There's like a 10% accuracy to some of the complaints, but at the end of the day, like I'm truly someone that on a regular basis desires to switch to a flip phone, move somewhere quiet, and just never touch the internet again, just because I'm so sick of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm also in the top 1% of people who can actually make an earning and a living doing what other people want to do. So I can't dismiss that. So
Yeah.
that's the hardest part about where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I was like, let me be open and vulnerable about it.
Be like, who was it? Rick Moranis, who just like walked away from acting one
Right.
day. He was just like top of his game in the 90s. And then all of a sudden he's just like, nah, I think I'm going to go be a dad.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is badass.
It is badass, but also like, yeah, it's like, how do you do that? You know, it's hard. It's not easy. He had like everything set for him for years to come. But yeah, you know what? If you do go back and switch, doesn't necessarily have to be a flip phone. I got to tell you, I busted out my old BlackBerry recently.
Ooh, I
That
do
thing-
love a good keyboard.
That felt great in my hands. I'm telling you.
That's
I loved
awesome.
it. Bring back the Blackberries. The cameras on those things were terrible.
Well, I'd love to ask you this question on a more deeper
Yeah.
level than about your career.
Yeah.
What has been like the most profound story for you that you've been able to share on your pages that truly moved you, where you weren't like, not only is this like good content, but from a personal level, like this story has been very impactful for my like my soul.
Yeah. You know, it wasn't necessarily my most viral by any means, but like I was walking through Boston one day, and there was this is funny. There was a massive protest happening downtown, and so I couldn't get to my car. It was happening on the street where I parked on the side of the road.
No.
And
I'm so afraid of that happening.
Yeah. And so the newsroom was like, we already have a reporter on it. Also, I was off the clock, so I was like, I'm not going to go do that. I'm just going to walk. But I had my microphone on me. And as I'm walking away down Washington Street and Downtown Crossing, I hear a woman singing Christmas carols on the side of the road. And I was just recording. I was like, she has an amazing voice. And so I stopped and started talking to her. I was like, can I interview you? Come to find out, she was homeless because of some stuff that's very depressing and sad happening in her life. And she had this dream. She was like writing songs, but didn't have the money to get into a studio and record it and stuff. And so like after the interview, after I went home, I was like, I know people who work in recording studios and producers and stuff. And let's just hook her up, whatever.
Yeah.
It kind of violates this rule of journalism where you're not supposed to get yourself involved in the story. But I was like, screw that.
Yeah.
Like I have this opportunity to like change this woman's life here. So I had gotten her phone number and I texted her. I was like, hey, I'm going to pick you up. Just be in this spot at this time. And I took her to a recording studio with the producer and everything. She sang her song without having any of the music. She just sang it a cappella. We sent it to a producer who like built the song around it. And it like was, you know, she went back and forth with him to make sure it was like her vision and it was like what she wanted. And we ended up posting it online on Bandcamp, which is a website where people can pay what they want for their song. And she ended up making, in like 2 months, she made like 10 grand off of her song.
Oh my God, that's
and
amazing.
And it's cool because it's like, yeah, there's a lot of influencers, you know, the kindness influencers who want to just like walk up to someone homeless, here, have a $20 bill with a camera in their face. And it's like, but this wasn't that at all, really, because it was just giving someone with an amazing talent an opportunity to showcase that talent, and people paid her for that talent. I just happened to be the middleman that connected her to those places. That's and incredible. It ended up going like way beyond that too. I reunited her with her daughter who she hadn't seen in like 2 years. And like, actually shout out to Duncan for making that happen. Because Duncan was like doing something at the airport and they were like, hey, do you want to do anything? And I was like, well, actually I just met this woman who hasn't seen her daughter in 2 years. Can we like fly her in and surprise her at the airport? And they were like, okay. So shout out Duncan for helping to pay for that. That was awesome.
That's why we love our Duncan.
Yeah.
More than coffee.
Right? For real. Genuinely good people behind them. But anyways, it was just like,
That's really cool.
More than social media, more than radio. It's
totally
like a true human connection and story. How rewarding.
And it was like, yeah, I think people at that point had kind of only known me for doing like kind of funny, wacky stuff.
Yeah.
And so here's a story that was very much not that. It was like a tearjerker. Totally changed my perspective on a lot of stuff. Like I learned a lot about how like homelessness works and getting out of it. And just like, yeah, it's been a journey. But yeah, that was one on a deeper level, like you said, that was a lot of work, but it really stuck with me.
I love that.
Thanks, man.
And are you you're a one-man band out there? You hold the camera, you hold the mic, you do it all yourself.
Exactly.
That's badass.
Edited all myself too. I have one guy in the newsroom who works part-time, like once a week. He helps me out, like pulling clips for me and stuff, which is great. But generally speaking, yeah, most of the time I'm by myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's fun.
Love it.
It's fun. And I love finding these interesting, fun characters too on the street, you know? Like somebody hit me up and was like, hey, there's these guys that are getting in trouble with the Board of Health for selling burgers out of their front yard and calling it a drive-through. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, I got to find out what's up with this. And so I go up to Gloucester where it was happening. And it's these two dudes who had spray painted on a big sign said yard meat. And literally they were just cooking out and people were pulling up and paying them for burgers and driving away.
That's
and
so awesome.
like the city Board of Health tried to get involved. That didn't work. So the state Board of Health, because the reason why they couldn't do anything is because technically they weren't selling the burgers. They were asking for donations. You know, they were giving away burgers. And so it
Keep
was,
your hands out of my pockets, buddy.
It was this whole legal battle. And I'm like, what else are you guys doing with your day? They're like, nothing. We just sit out here and grill yard meat. You know, we had yard meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Hell yeah. I love that. I love it.
The dream.
All right, let's transition into our So New England segment here. We're going to hit you with a couple of fast-paced questions. They are opinion-based, but, you know, we'll have you just kind of go at it. So first question.
Let's stay in order today so
Yes,
I
I
don't get
know.
lost.
I don't
That's
wanna
my
lose you.
bad.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
Can we rank the 6 New England states in order from your favorite to least?
Yeah. First off, I'm going to do 1 and last, 1 and 6, because they're boring. They're obvious. Massachusetts ones where I've lived my whole life. I love it. Last, Connecticut, but not because I hate Connecticut. I actually think Connecticut is maybe underrated. Genuinely. Love the Merritt Parkway when I'm driving in New York. You got all those cool bridges. It's like scenic. It's pretty.
And you got a lot of time to see it because you're always in traffic and it's like standstill. So it's
tons of places to take a piss on the way to New York. Thank you, Connecticut, for that. Second, I'll say Rhode Island. You know,
We
the
appreciate
underdogs, of course. No, and I'm not
we
just
need
saying that. No, it's like I always forget. Like, I don't know. I had a weird experience one time when I was here with my girlfriend in college and just sitting out on a bench in downtown Providence. And, you know, we were my arm around her and some guy walks by and starts clapping. All right, let's go heterosexuality. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
pretty rare in Boston, in Providence.
I guess. It's like this. Anyways, but yes. So Providence, Rhode Island, number 2. I'm gonna put Vermont at 3. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
The best skiing in New England. New England has a bad rep for skiing because of how icy it gets and like how, you know,
Not this year. We proved them wrong, didn't we?
We'll literally ski down the piles of snow in the parking lot at Shoppers World and call that a slope. Like that's New England skiing for you. But like up in Vermont, they got real mountains. They got good mountains. What else is next? Okay, I'll put New Hampshire after that. So where am I? 4. Thank you. Yep. New Hampshire, like you're right. It's kind of stuck in the past, sometimes in a bad way.
Yeah.
Right. And in that,
Not all things in the past are worth keeping.
right. Also, like, you know, my family growing up in Acton, we would do some vacations on the Cape, some vacations on New Hampshire. I much preferred the Cape because there was actually stuff all over the place. Whereas New Hampshire, you would just go miles and miles of nothing.
Yeah.
And like, especially the White Mountains, I would always be so depressed seeing the houses on the side of the road being like, how do these kids trick or treat? Like the next house is 5 miles away. Like
This is true. You got to go to the neighborhoods.
that sucks. So New Hampshire's below that. But shout out to Manchester, chicken tender capital of the world. And it's true. They were.
Is it really?
They were. Yes.
Holy shit! I did not know that.
Whoa.
Yeah, chicken
That is
tenders
hysterical.
were invented at the Puritan Back Room in Manchester, New Hampshire. And a couple of years ago, this
I
guy.
love the fun facts.
Yeah, Nick LaValle, a friend of mine, he runs this like apparel company, Wicked Joyful. He started this whole campaign to make Manchester, New Hampshire, the official chicken tender capital of the world.
I love it.
And it happened. The mayor ended up signing it in print.
That's
Their
awesome.
minor league team, the Manchester Fisher Cats, their minor league baseball team, once a year changes their name to the Manchester Chicken Tenders. And they have like
I need that jersey.
They
I need a
have the
chicken
jerseys
tender.
and the hats.
Oh,
like
I need it.
it's
That's
sick.
electric.
That's great.
So yes, Puritan Backroom. You got to try their chicken tenders. They're great. 5, I'm going Maine. But here's my favorite fun fact about Maine. I'll throw at you.
Yeah, we love these.
Did you know Maine is the closest state in the U.S. to Africa?
I did know that.
That is-
I've heard that one before.
I love that.
one. I've heard before.
That's interesting.
Wait.
Excuse me. How
My brain
fucking
hurts with that one.
Because when
that's
you're
correct.
looking
The
at a map,
coastline
they have to
goes up
flatten
further
it
than-
out, right?
yeah.
But when you look at a globe and it's actually like round, you see that, yeah, because of the Mercator projections, I think it's probably closest to Morocco or something.
That's
yeah.
wild.
Which is sick, right?
That's so cool.
I've become like a little bit of a geography nerd recently.
Yeah.
Like,
We're doing all the things we said we weren't doing when we were kids. Like, I'm never going to care about history. I'm
Yeah.
never going to care about this. And on a
Now-
regular basis, I'm like, it's from where?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Let me, like, I'm eating my breakfast and I'm like watching on TikTok. I'm like, holy shit. There's how many animals in that state?
you know what I want to do tonight? Study.
Yeah. Where's the llama from? Okay, well, what breed is that, chat?
Yeah. You and I both just got Invisalign.
Yeah.
We're really just making up
We're
for the
locking
mistakes of our teenage years. So yeah. So
That's too
that's
funny.
those are my rankings.
There you go. You a big sports guy?
Yeah.
All right. So rank them.
Okay.
our beloved
Okay.
New England sports teams.
Celtics number 1.
Ooh,
I
okay.
love basketball, like you said.
No
But I was
hesitation.
terrible at basketball back in the day. Actually, there's some horrible videos of me just trying to do handles as a kid, and tripping over myself, tripping over the ball. But you know what pulled me back in? The Isaiah Thomas year. Mm-hmm. That just like I was like
lit the city on fire.
Such a great underdog story, and I was like, man, the Celtics are awesome. And like, here's a fan base. I was coming from like the super toxic fan base of like the Patriots. I was a diehard Pats fan. I still am. I still love the Pats. But I was like, man, something about Celtics fans, like they've sucked for so long, but they don't care. You know,
Right.
I love that. They hadn't
They
won
bleed
since
green.
2008. Yeah, they bleed green. Celtics are number 1. Patriots are number 2. Bruins are number 3. Red Sox are number 4. Oh, but you guys want to throw in the other teams too?
Yeah,
right?
throw
We
'em in
always
there.
do this. I
Throw
do
them
this.
in there.
Yeah, so I'll put the Revs up pretty high. Going to a Revs game is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you can get tickets for a pretty good price.
Absolutely.
There's always tickets available because it's Gillette Stadium.
Honestly, so I do every year for Christmas, I do like a giveaway to all my followers.
Yeah.
And I give tickets to the Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox. I do every game. And the Revs is always great because with the Celtics and Pats games, I'm like, hey, listen, like, we'll go to a game, but like, I don't mind footing the bill. Like that's part of this, but also I'm going to have to put you up in the nosebleeds. I can't afford $2,000 for each ticket. But the Revs game, I put them center field, front row, because it's $50 for sure. I'm like, hell yeah, here you guys go.
Yeah. I get my dad tickets for Father's Day and
Yeah, it's
stuff. It's
awesome.
awesome. It's a great time. I'll put them above the Bruins. I'm not a big hockey guy. Don't dislike hockey. Just not a big hockey guy. What are the other teams? What am I
Free
missing?
Jacks,
Free Jack. Oh yeah.
Boston Cannons.
Unfortunately, I just have,
Fleet
have
Legacy.
never experienced any of those games.
That's
so,
okay.
Yeah,
We'll bunch them all together.
We're getting
they're all
them.
Bunch them all
collectively right
together.
there.
Yeah, we're
But I
starting.
hear the
we're
Fleet are
trying.
sick.
They
I
are.
hear they're
Yeah.
awesome.
They're getting there.
And I gotta say, just like women's sports in general, I love the moment that it's having.
Yeah.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and like all the amazing women athletes that are doing so well. Oh, even who was the figure skater at the Olympics? Who with the dyed hair and the piercings? I'm blanking on her name.
too
She
sure.
was like
That's what we got our producers for.
Alyssa Liu.
Alyssa Liu, yes. She what an awesome story that is. Like they were forcing her to like starve herself as a teenager to win. And so she was like, screw this, I quit. Went back years later. She's like, I'm doing this on my terms. I'm going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to skate to the songs that I want. And she won the gold medal.
That's insane.
That is sick.
That's such a good story.
Women's sports are having an awesome
Hell
moment.
yeah.
And as a dad of 2 girls, I love this. And I'm seeing it firsthand. Like, I don't know, as a guy growing up, I was like, whatever, I don't care. But now I see them light up when they see a woman on the screen, whether it's a sport or whether it's a movie. They're like, I like that character because like she looks like me.
Yeah.
You know, that
That's
stuff
awesome.
matters to
Hell yeah.
kids.
I think what I love the most about it is that the narrative is not holding back the women from still being as amazing as they are as athletes,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
performing. Because
Yeah.
it's ESPN, every sportscast. It's again just constant battle of Caitlin Clark this, Angel Reese that for the WNBA, and all these. It's just like, regardless of the noise, it's all still being drowned out, and all of these athletes are still performing.
Yeah.
People are still showing up and saying,
Yep.
fuck your narrative. Like, this is what we're going to go with.
Yes.
We don't care. So, and I think that that's great.
It's awesome. It's a great sport. And basketball is basketball. You know,
Right.
it's like
Good hoops is good hoops, man.
Yes, I play a lot of pickup these days at the gym, and
Hell
like
yeah.
if there are women around, it doesn't matter. We all just play, and
Right.
a lot of them smoke me. A lot of them have way better shots than I do. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. All right. Let's do 1 or 2 more here. What's your most overrated and underrated take about New England?
okay, overrated. Fall in New England.
Ooh.
We get a lot of hate for this. Wow, way overrated.
That is a hot take. Sound the bell.
I'm getting canceled right now. I can feel it. I can feel the unfollows.
Here's
the
the thing.
thumbs tapping that follow.
I will hear you out because we're talking about 2 weeks that are actually good out of the other 12
Yeah.
months we have here. So
Here's my whole
50
thing.
weeks of like absolute chaos and carnage.
Fall is when things don't get better; they get worse. You know, every
You are on the downhill of a broken bridge.
Right, like the next day is worse than the day before. Your seasonal depression is worse. It's darker earlier. You're driving home from work at 4 p.m. in the dark with the headlights on. Fall kind of sucks. The only redeeming thing that saves fall is Halloween. Halloween is the best holiday.
That's
No
Can we say
question.
like September, August fall, not November shitty fall? Because you're so fucking right.
Literally.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
so
yes.
true.
So I'm talking like yes, but there are great things that
Seasonal
happen in
depression.
October,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You get
yeah.
your apple
100%.
cider and
Yeah.
Stowe and cider donuts. I love all that too. That's fun. But you're right. That only lasts like a week or
Yeah.
two.
You get like a
when
week
it's
or two.
comfortable.
Yeah.
And realistically, like, unless you're someone who goes like over the top, you go and you get your apple cider once, you go and you get, and then it's done.
Yes.
So
It's
it's one day,
once
and then
a
you're
year.
like, and I love fall.
And people are like, "Oh, look at the trees!" Though.
Yeah, when you
I
grow
look
up
at
in
trees
it.
all day.
Yeah, it's
Like-
like you go to Miami and you love the beach and the water. You're like, yeah, we're used to it here. It's
Yeah.
nothing. But
That's wild.
okay.
So
And so then
that's-
what's your underrated take then?
underrated.
Because I happen to I think that's a really good explanation. So
Thank
I
you.
do, yeah.
I don't agree with the whole statement, but
Uh-huh.
I'm with it.
That's my
That's
take.
fair.
Underrated. I'm gonna say. Well, okay. I already used Manchester, New Hampshire, chicken tender capital of the world. Super underrated. The Boston Harbor Islands are actually sick, and nobody like talks about that. People come to visit. They go to the Freedom Trail. They don't Faneuil Hall, whatever.
Yeah.
Go out to it. Spend a day on the Harbor Island. A nice sunny summer day. Fort. I think it's called Fort Warren on George's Island. Is fucking awesome. People always talk about like what's that one in Southie where Castle Island. Castle
Oh,
Island,
okay,
that's
yes.
the one. I'm sorry. Castle Island is a little overrated, but the good thing about Castle Island is you don't have to get there on a boat. You can drive there. So
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
so George's Island is sick because it's an old military base that dates back to like the Revolutionary War, and they used it in the Civil War and a little bit in World War I too. But ever since it's been like decommissioned. But now you can walk freely through it. You can crawl into the windows and walk around like an
that's cool.
bandit. It feels like you're in an episode of Ghost Hunters. It's like really cool. And there happens to be like a ton of great like grasses and grills. And so you can just hang out and kill a whole day there.
That's pretty cool.
I will say, don't fall into the trap. People will say, oh, Spectacle Island is beautiful. There is nothing on Spectacle Island. It's a nice place to
spectacle.
walk around. It's literally a pile of trash. 2 piles of trash, actually. That's why they call it Spectacle Island. Literally, it was where Boston, it was like a landfill for Boston, and now they just like people can walk around it. So
Oh my God, I didn't
you
know
can
that. Okay.
skip Spectacle Island. That's also overrated. Go to George's Island.
What is your favorite thing about New England?
My favorite thing about New England, besides chocolate chip cookies, is that we have everything here. There's no reason to leave. We have the mountains. We have the beaches. We have the big cities. We have Cape Cod. You don't need to go to Florida.
Right.
You know, we have P-Town. You don't need to go to Europe. We have everything here. So it's awesome. I love Massachusetts.
Hell yeah. Great answer.
That's a really good answer. Last question for you here.
Yeah.
What is one song that you think is the track of New England? Like, what song to you is like, you hear this and this is Boston, this is New England?
Has anybody said this is Boston, not LA yet? Do you know that song?
No.
It's a little obscure, but the homies in the punk rock and hardcore community will know this. It's by a band called The Freeze, who are from Cape Cod, and it's about, in true punk rock fashion, the song is, I think, 15 seconds long. And it's just like, you know, he's like, you look the same, you act the same, blah, blah, blah. He's talking about people from LA. And then it ends on the chorus, which is, this is Boston, not LA. This is Boston, not LA. And then this is the best ending to a song ever. This is Boston, fuck LA. You see
Mic
that song
drop.
live in Boston? Dude, you will not go home with a not broken neck.
I love
People
it.
will be stage diving into you,
gold.
walking
That
on
is
your head,
gold.
crowd killing you. It's a great song.
Amazing. Mic
Yeah.
drop.
Yep.
Matt, where can everybody find you?
Let's go with Instagram. Let's go with Reporter Matt on Instagram. That's
Matt
the
on
easiest one.
Instagram.
I wasn't lucky enough to get the same handle on all the different platforms, so let's go Reporter Matt on Instagram.
Awesome. And anything fun and exciting news stories coming out that people should be on the lookout for?
Oh man, I was recently challenged to find an old Duncan legend from the 90s that has been kind of just MIA for years, and I found him. I managed to track him down. So
Wow. I'm going to be tuning in for that one. That's for
Thank
sure.
you.
That's gonna be good.
Appreciate it.
Dude, it's been so great getting to meet you more. I feel like we could have done this. We might need a part 2 because there's still so much to discuss
Yeah.
and talk about. But
No,
I
likewise.
appreciate all of your information, your creative
course.
insight. I think what you're doing is amazing. So thank you for all of the awesome, informative, passionate videos you're putting out there.
Thank you.
All New Englanders, I think I can speak for them. We're loving it. So
Thank you for having me.
You're
This
doing
was a
great work.
blast.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, folks, that's going to conclude episode 90 of the So New England podcast. Please try and remember, folks, life's better
in New England.
Red Sox crack and the Celtics fly. Patriots fight and the Bruins grind. From 6 great states, we raise this